0.5 and a crosshair thickness of 0.5 as well.
Oof.
It's not centered. You know, that's the issue for me. It's a good crosshair. It shows up on every background, but it's not symmetrical, man.
Yeah, it's got to be symmetrical and it's got to be centered. And then once you have those things hammered in as the musts, then we can talk about all the subjectivities of crosshairs and whatnot.
Yeah, get creative after that.
Yeah, do what you got to do. But if it's not centered, if it's not symmetrical, then you're a freak.
Yeah, then you got to move your monitor over just a bit.
Pull the rulers out.
Yeah.
Vitality on the other end, of course. Enough of Alicia's crosshair. Let's talk about Vitality. Grand finals for the ESL Pro League. Very close. Amazing back and forth final fifth map. An absolute burner of a match that I think that they got to hold their heads high, because this is a new Vitality. This is the most success that this new version of Vitality has experienced, and it's time to experience a little Counter-Strike yourselves, ladies and gents. Lock it in right here at Blast Premier, because we've got the first round of the first map between Liquid and Vitality.
I think this could very easily be the best map of the series, just because I believe Liquid have shown the most improvement on Inferno out of any map of their map pool recently, you know, despite certain things happening in some of their most recent Inferno maps. But they play close against very strong teams. But that being said, as Maui mentioned, this is also a map where Apex has shown his abilities as a T-side IGL and has really raised the floor for Vitality and made it so they've made very few mistakes and have done some cool stuff. And we'll talk about that more in the second half.
Of course.
But for now, it's going to be Liquid on the attack.
So you're right there with Maniac in terms of praising Vitality's T-side. What do you make of Liquid's? We got high hopes on an apps pop perhaps for this pistol. We've got the utility, of course, primed and prepared. 4 men in the apartments, one lingering towards the boiler side, but Shox decides to get aggressive, and that was a chance to cut down too. It's over towards Pit. The Kyojin and Shox just slaughter the masses. 3 headshots for Kyojin, and this is the newest piece of Vitality, right?
Yes.
This is the kid who's slotting in and is meant to fill the iconic shoes of the tank.
In the pit, as an anchor, this is what we need him to do. And Kyojin was making a lot of mistakes this year in terms of getting comfortable in certain positions. He was compromising a lot of their spots sometimes with some of the moves he would make. It looked a little awkward. The aim wasn't a question, but even that has improved. He looks more comfortable now. He's making less mistakes. He's focusing more on his crosshair, and it's looking excellent. And he had a great final as well versus Na'Vi despite losing.
I have to say, the FAMI of Vitality have looked impeccable as well. Masuda has that like 2-bullet clip on B-Site Mirage where he just erased somebody from existence, shut down a bunch of plays, as has this one. Vitality just taking the initiative down middle, trying to go off of the grenades, MP9s in your face, get anything and everything out of this second round from Team Liquid. Easy conversion for Vitality, just making it look like mincemeat.
If I had to pick one half from each side, it'd be Vitality for their T side, just because what we're going to see in the second half is how they are able to entry both sides of the map really well. And then for Liquid, it's actually the CT side, which is more interesting. So when we flip it over. But I will say both teams are looking good in both halves in different ways. So I'm looking forward to the tactics. I think you can see the impact of Adren, I think, in terms of their tactics on T sides as well. And here's an opening attempt from ZywOo. Now that they freed up this, they know he's not peeking mid anymore. They start to loosen up and take more map control. Mid is smoked. The rotate's coming over towards B. A little bit of a stack. No car control. Looks like no plans to re-aggress for the moment. But look who's made an appearance.
Yeah, the potential aggressor. Grim's going to be sitting on the smidgen of an angle, and even though he does hit his shots, it's just for 26 damage, and the opening kill goes the way of Vitality. But just as quickly as ZywOo goes for his peak, Team Liquid decide to transition into the A commitment, and Naf gets burned off of Apps, so he's not able to come join towards short side. We see that rotate, of course, from Vitality, feeling this pressure, indulging in the A hold. Kyojin looking over top of smoke as Fallen gets into the position. So Stewie on short with players jumping down in front of him is looking to support this push. Shox comes up from the little pit with a single kill, and then he gets cleared. But it's inside the site that Apex is able to drop 2 and push a Liege into this 1v3. First kill already his. Comfortable bomb plant behind the boxes, and as the smoke grenade fades, we've got Vitality setting up on the other side, throwing that utility instinctually. And a Liege holds them back. momentarily. He goes for the peek, he gets the first, but ZywOo's right there ready to trade. He starts the round, he ends the round, he keeps the winning for Vitality rolling.
Apex getting the second kill sets that up, right? Elige plays that so well. He actually timed that Molotov perfectly. As soon as the smoke came up on Moto, that Molotov went down, it countered the Molotov on the site, and you could tell Vitality were definitely sweating in that 2v1, and he also got the first kill, came close. I would like to say that, considering this is 4v5, Liquid being able to take apart a double pit setup on an A entry like that with heavy Halls presence, that's really tough. You know, if you expect the Halls play to come out, playing double pit like that is really powerful versus it, and Liquid did a good job of just taking it slow enough and carefully enough with the amount of time they had left over.
Big play from Apex, making the most of that ump inside of the site as all that chaos was going down towards pit. Because you had the two players inside of pit, attention turned so much so that he gets the multi-kill that round. Of course, buy up here in the fourth. Lackluster, Grim and Stewie with the Tech 9s. We've seen Tech 9s today. And Grim, goodbye. Burnt to a crisp as this attempt towards Arch to rock bomb into B could have caught Apex off, but it's still traded out. Now this is a heads up 2v5 turn 2v4. There's still a CT lingering on Banana side in the form of Masuda, but he decides to give them the bomb site and forego the bomb plant. Naf posts on the angle, and if he can kill Masuda before the other players get in position, then maybe Naf's multi-kill could prime his teammate for a solid post-plant position. Naf got to work awkwardly with that fire, isn't able to get the second because he falls down, but Elige's peak could have nailed 2 headshots. Instead, he gets the one. Vitality win their 4th consecutive round, and this time with an even larger margin.
It is, yeah, and that's a force buy that comes towards the A site first. And you know what? It's a little bit new from Liquid. I personally haven't seen that before. You saw Grim commit with the Molotov in a graveyard. He's running up lane. And something we don't see as often anymore is people sacrificing on fakes like this. So he runs through and dies on the site. It really makes it feel like the A site hit is coming for sure. And Apex, there is a timing there where he's not aware of the lane split. Now, he's got a couple of key kills in moments like these where he could get caught off guard, not even get a kill, but he has contributed. And honestly, Apex, despite being such a good IGL right now, like a really, really astounding IGL, he's been struggling a little bit individually.
Okay. Well, luckily he had rotated fast enough that he didn't get caught towards the end side of the fountain, because there would have been 3 Ts staring at him. He shaves off 1. ZywOo will pick up his kill versus Naf. Missed the initial shot, but another double man advantage for Vitality out the gate.
They didn't expect that rotation. Nafly comes up into the halls. We saw ZywOo run around through Arch last time. He took that mid shot and head over to B. And we see Liquid are putting pressure on Banana as well. So I think Naf thought he had a little bit of room to work there, but good moves from ZywOo to be a bit more unpredictable.
I think in previous 3v5s, we've seen Team Liquid is still like a bit more of surprise in their back pocket, whereas this round just looks like it could be a first real shutdown from Vitality. Looking to close this, 3-4 survivors. The utility that can burn down this clock so that Liquid have to play with a layer of desperation. More desperation than the fact that Fallen and Grim are already sub half HP. Another moment where Elige is going to have to be essential. Apex resides inside smoke. Masuda, nice first kill, nice second. This is what I'm talking about. 5 up and almost 5 through. Just Elige on 12 HP, 30 seconds remaining. He is blind as a bat, and Vitality find themselves on fire.
One of the daunting stats of this game is going to be the opening kills here for Vitality and how easily they've come. You know, Grim getting off at the top of Banana by ZywOo, that chicken taking 400 damage. This kill also from Nafly, who thought he could just fly across halls. When, you know, normally you might, like, you know, double spot the end of halls and try to play slowly, bait that op shot. It's not a great angle sometimes if 2 people are going to double peek you if he's there with Elige. But in this round, ZywOo picked the perfect opportunity, as he has been. So 3 kills for him, but 2 openings as well. I think there's so much room for ingenuity on the T side when on these low buys, where you can just do so much. I mean, whether it's like a lane hit or Banana. I mean, notoriously, this map is so difficult to get through all the utility on the CT side. But ironically, on rounds like this, sometimes you try to throw the low clearance grenades with very little contact, so you can sometimes catch people with their nades out. And I think those are the timings that you're looking for, specifically when you have such low utility.
I think that's exactly what Elige was hoping for at the start of this one. Instead, he gets Cyclops ZywOo scoped in on him. ZywOo's up, very impactful at the start of each and every one of these rounds that he's had it. I could have ended that sentence at just ZywOo impactful.
Yeah.
Hard stop.
Would have still worked.
Exclamation. Shox sniffs out this rotation towards Banana. He's going to find nothing stopping him from hitting this. And sure enough, an execution into the back of Naf's head. Now, that was also the bomb, so there is no chance. Whether or not they got through with kills, which they didn't, another clean sweep from Vitality.
Yeah, it can be, you know, you can come in eager, right, ready to take on the game, you know, stand up to the fact that you're losing an opening kill here and there. But it happens this many times, you just got to be too, you know, you've got to have too much ingenuity, and it's just too hard to come back in this many rounds. Like, the conversions in situations where you lose that opening kill so early on are so low. So we'll see if Liquid, I think, obviously, first step is not get opt, and then maybe they can try to take control of something or commit really heavily with 5 players early on. But I think it's probably going to be the former most of the time. People are respecting the CT utility on Inferno more than most maps.
Poor Grim. Down to half health before he sees anything to shoot back at. An affinity for Banana, it seems. Team Liquid going to set up and posture early. 4 players here. A 5th ready to commit inbound.
Sometimes we might get someone to try to shoulder this. Oh, they get across.
That's a good timing for Liquid. Let's see if they can make the most of it inside sight. Masuda! He has been so good this evening. Sharp as a knife. And ZywOo surprises him by coming through the edge of smoke, dropping Fallen, and really putting an end to any hopes for Liquid. Naf, through the smoke itself, has his head taken clean off. Let's talk about Masuda for a second. Launders, tell me why he is so damn good.
Yeah, so this second Orange's position is so powerful for dodging grenades. It's a very powerful line to defend on the site, but to get 3, that's an abnormal performance. That's super sick. And the other thing is that ZywOo had this really, really sharp angle, tight to dodge any flashes, to take a pick on anybody who would try to jump across, but the flashes were very nice for Liquid. The execute was perfect. I think if they looked at it again, they'd say, let's run that back, but this time kill Masuda, because he was in a position they'd clear as well. But they get ZywOo off, and then they have the second boss, right? They've got the mini boss in Masuda to come through, and they've been struggling. In one way, this is an upgrade because they didn't lose the opening kill before the executes. And yeah. I don't mean that tongue-in-cheek. Like, that is what they needed to figure out how to do.
Yeah.
And they did that, and the exec was good. But again, look at Masuda, 9 and 5, and he has been ZywOo's right-hand man. I think Hyojin's coming up there lately, but even though Masuda didn't have a great final EPL, in general, he's been pretty damn consistent.
Throwback to one of the earlier anti-ecos. We've got Shox being the front runner of this mid push. Support by ZywOo's sniper, and Shox has his headshot. That's Stewie taken down. Fallen's Deagle gonna be dropped by the support of the sniper. However, it does still cost Vitality something. They come out with a profit, and Apex knows the truth. Banana has been left alone, but Naf, I mean, that's one of those kills where you run that back 50-50, Nafly dies, and it's a 4v2 instead. This could be a good one for Liquid.
Yeah.
You know, when we're stretching that last round for an improvement for Liquid, this is a chance. Yeah, they've been decent in the mid rounds when they had man disadvantage. Now it's even keel. That's
a pool floaty thrown in their direction. They grab onto that. They hate to come through with the cliches, but they need this round. I mean, they make it a 3v3. This is the best spot they've been in some time. Can they get through Masuda?
Oh, he tends to take 3. Goes back as the man has crossed. That's the Tech-9 trying to plow his way to the back of the site, and Grim is on the scoreboard. First kill to his name. ZywOo looking to drop a body before Kyojin can come over. This is going to be both CTs retaking from their spawn. Heavy utility retake as well. Incendiary smoke, flashbangs galore.
This is interesting. They could use that utility for CT spawn, but they're just walking up.
Ooh, and Grim's now been found out. This is both players for Liquid at half health. Incendiary confirmed position. So Grim comes out with the drive-by, leaves it on Nafly, who is going to put Liquid at least on the board.
Gotta love Nafly for taking a powerful off angle like that instead of tucking in the corner, playing the time in a spot where he could just get hard cleared. a nice mid-round situation. They pull this 3v3 back because Apex overextends a bit, comes down B, and yeah, he could have got the kill and we wouldn't be talking about it, but that is the state of things. If he hadn't done that, Liquid wouldn't have got this round for sure, and they still didn't have super great odds to be able to pull it off, but they do. That's one for the confidence. The money's back online, so let's see if now they can do what they did before, get into an execute before losing a player, or grab that opening kill and go from there.
At the very least, in the minds of Liquid, the game begins now. However, it could end as quickly as it started. The grenades, the damage, it's already just dogpiling on top of Liquid. Any hopes they had of maybe getting an easier round have just come crumbling all around them.
Man, their modes of aggression, so hard to read here from Vitality. This is how they looked at the end of 2020 with the amount of different tactics and the fluidity between them.
Oof, eat a flash. Masuda's gonna move forward off of it. Another multi-kill from Masuda.
Oh my god.
Oh, it just executes Fallen. It's all too easy for Masuda. Multiple 3Ks on the night, and we're not even 10 rounds deep.
Just having fun. Just playing Counter-Strike with no pressure here. Masuda, ZywOo, just too many good players at the moment, it feels like. And Apex is contributing in a big way as well. Definitely have to call into consideration his performances recently. You know, despite being an IGL, even the IGLs have to step up in big ways to win these hard games. Now, you really can't tell how well Liquid are playing at the moment, and they're not playing that great or anything like that, but I think they still would show up a lot better versus another team right now, but Vitality are just on another level.
I think there's like...
Those punishes are so insane.
I think I like to picture this game as having shockwaves from their last results. Think of the way that Team Liquid went out of EPL. Think of the way that Team Vitality finished EPL.
Yeah.
And now look at these teams. And it's almost like reflective in the score at the moment. Vitality look hotter than ever. And Team Liquid, the frustration already starting to boil over in our 9th round.
Yeah, it's the trauma from all their recent losses.
Yeah. For better or for worse.
I think for sure. You think about, oh, it's happening again, this and that. You forget how close the previous rounds were. That is brutal. Really expected this map to be a lot closer, and the half isn't done yet.
No, of course.
So as long as they keep the energy up, I'm sure they'll be able to find an opening.
Yeah.
But look at this. They evacuate top mid control, and it's immediately responded to. I mean, this is the beautiful move you like to see on CT side. Finding that exact timing, and at this point, Liquid cannot expel more utility to push anyone back off of top mid again. But it seems like Vitality are kind of reading this as a fake. No Opera here on B. Let's see if they can get through.
Let's see. There's smokes galore, and Grim gets Masuda on the floor at the very, very least. But that challenge around the smoke of Coffin, we've seen it, and I'm curious if it's going to come barreling through yet again. Fallen gets his hands onto an AK and a leash through smoke, drops shocks. That's an excellent position for Liquid. Finally, a man advantage for Liquid, but as fast as the bomb goes down, Apex nearly comes in with a multi-kill. Just one to his name, and the man advantage sustained for at least a little longer. 2 players for Liquid over on Banana, and 1 inside the site, hiding behind that slim column. Elige, barely any cover, and Kyojin's gonna kill him. However, he does take ZywOo with him. We have Team Liquid with their 2nd round win.
Yeah, there was an interesting moment there where Shocks could have been the faster rotate over towards B. Not sure if it would have made a huge difference, but he tried to answer back in the spam from CT when he could have maybe, you know, been ready to come through that smoke where Apex also could have, and the round might have been different. But the big thing here was Liquid picked a site that ZywOo wasn't at for once, and he hadn't rotated, and they didn't overstack B at all, even with an extra rifler. So that made things a lot easier for Team Liquid. We'll see if that's something that'll only happen once. They did also tie up ZywOo's attention at mid on Boiler side, which made him a really far rotate, and obviously a lot less likely to go help B.
Grim again gets wrecked. Had 10 HP and falls to the M4. Luckily, Fallen does have an answer. However, ZywOo, he hits him, doesn't kill him, just playing with his food.
For the record, that would have killed me in real life every time.
Every time.
That was a shot, a stair bang.
The elusive stair bang.
He gets stair banged. That should be a Steam achievement right there. Okay. Well, again, it's all. I mean, Alicia's low. It's not a horrible position for Liquid. I think they'll be happy to at least have it 4v4. It's always scary on the CT side when you've got to rotate this much. ZywOo's still alive. Holding this very common angle. You can see that Liquid are also just making sure to keep into Hall's control. It's going to escort their teammates back. And look at this again. Vitality, as soon as map control gets taken, they disrespect it, clear it out, see nothing, and now rotate.
Yeah, Vitality just playing so responsive at the moment.
And you see how everyone will start to migrate over into towards the site, inside of the Moto smoke.
Yep, Zaiwu included. So the final boss sits inside his cave. The guards of Shocks and Kyojin both able to add a kill to the tally before Zaiwu's even needed. There's a trade back from Elige, but it costs him so much health. So he's looking over top of the smoke, peering, pondering, looking for an opening with 10 seconds left on this clock. It is a done deal, but Elige, unless he comes in with some crazy kills, gets that first one at a distance, but the counter-terrorists tuck in and pocket a 9th round win.
Yeah, this is a round where it just affirms it, you know, just better right now. They're making all the right moves. They read everything perfectly. See, the flash retake from Masuda and top banana is the game-winning, this round-winning play. Kyojin gets posted up on top Belk off of this flash on top of banana. Zaiwu gets into the site to help him off this flash off of top banana. So it's where they're retaking with just one flashbang on a timing that's winning them these rounds. If Liquid could see that, they might try to stick around and fake top mid controller, fake banana, and try to punish the retake. But even in situations like that, you know, Zaiwu could still get his kill because he has an op. Masuda's just shooting so hot right now, it might not matter.
Oh, whoa. Hold your horses.
Okay.
Your ducks and your pigs. We got a spit roast over towards Pit. Kyojin drops Stewie, but again, recovered guns. And an opening, a weakness towards this A site could lead Liquid to win a round they have no business putting their name upon, but there are two answers. By Naf and Elige being removed from this one, Fallen and Grim.
They've got no utility to cross here. This will be very, very difficult.
And they're disjointed. I mean, a jump across. He's lucky to be alive. Wow, he's lucky he took no damage. Apex doesn't hit a single bullet, and then the gun goes dry on him. Of all of the kills in this round, that's the one that feels like the least likely. And that's going to put Masuda into the clutch. Now listen, he's added multi-kills to the tally throughout this B site in abundance.
They should switch guns. Oof.
Just one more in the clutch. Oh, he's got them both lined up. Fallen 90 HP, Masuda barely standing on 6. And it's just about toying with that corner. Could go tap bomb, cause some panic, but instead Fallen peeks out, dies, despite a huge health disadvantage, and Masuda's just gonna easily skate away with Vitality's double digits.
Yeah, 16 and 8. He's playing so damn well. What can you say, Masuda? He is lighting it up right now. It's a nice attempt, and it is a round where, they start off 5v3, but they don't have amazing guns, so they have a little bit of an excuse. This is the correct play from Liquid, fighting into CT spawn together after Apex misses a shot. He probably should have just tucked after and not worried about that, but the lifeline was when they were able to cross and not take any damage, but they couldn't convert. The only other small thing they could have done maybe is just Bogdan's lost, switch that scout out, and the Tech 9s. Fallen was the one with all the HP, but it's hard to say if that would have made a huge difference. Just got to hit your shots there. It's a depresso situation.
Whatever happened to Bogdan? You know, nobody ever asks.
We need the rise and fall of Bogdan video.
I mean, Simple got a documentary. Where's Bogdan?
Yeah, where's Bogdan's? I can only, I don't know.
I don't. Yeah,
I mean, I imagine we just flip on his stream and he's got 5K viewers playing Rust or something like that. Just blew up.
That guy's got to go to bed every night knowing he was right.
Oh.
Minimal damage on the grenade.
That nade is specifically for the read if they're playing in the pocket on the right, but Grim just simply goes to the left.
What is that?
Oh my gosh.
That's a floating Molotov.
It's a fire cloud.
A one and done, a trade back and forth. Grim limited. I feel like Grim has just been bullied this entire map. I've never looked at the score and seen Grim on more than 30 health, I swear.
You can definitely see, you know, it's palpable how selfless he's been as an entry, just running in. Sure. But it does feel like he's making a lot of sense. He's almost looking like an Apex in a weird way, you know, where he's being a little bit too selfless almost, but at the same time, you might just say he's a little bit off today. Don't know what you would say about it.
Good flashback, but it doesn't actually hit either of the two Ts, so easy pickup from Stewie. Man advantage for Liquid. One of the rare moments of this T side from them where they've had something of an edge, but a dull edge on this blade. 42 health combined for Grim and Stewie. And a second player here to bolster the B bomb site. Apex with a grenade primed and ZywOo scoped in. Ready for the hit at the 20-second mark. He's going to throw his own utility, and it's in that moment that Elige actually crosses. But of course, ZywOo gets into the safety of Dark. Apex onto the kill feed. They still have Elige to deal with, and Elige has a headshot to his name. 5 seconds to spare. Bomb needs to be picked back up. Naf's hands are going to be busy for the rest of this round, and if he runs through smoke to stop it, then it's all over. But he gets stuck in the gunfight with Elige, and Liquid have a post plant with Kyojin at bat. 10 and 6, no utility, and no kit currently on him. The clock plays against him, and so do the numbers. But now he actually has this back in his own hands. Oh. And Kyojin, with the double headshot, gives Vitality 11.
Damn, dude. It's an attack on Liquid right now. Kyojin with a 1v2 to match up with Masuda's. That was beautiful. And can we just say, the spray transfer to the apparition of a player who might be in CT on Banana was beautiful. It was actually laser sharp, even though no one was there. That was pretty nasty. They can't lose rounds like this, though, man. Oh, there's bomb over halfway ticked. Can't be losing. Can't just simply can't lose. Like, the way in which they figure it out is another thing. I'm sure they would have a number of ways, either playing time, like playing off each other, double peeking from the same spot, but you just can't win. You can't lose rounds like that. There's just too many easy answers to resolve it. So yeah, another round they can't afford to lose. Liquid only on 2.
Apex up close on the banana wall, dies immediately, but here's that bottom mid hit that could have gone the opposite way. Instead, it's a 5v3. Vitality maybe offering Liquid an easy route in this 14th round.
It actually... Oh,
call that a pity push.
Pity push, okay. All right. How aggro will they get over here on B? Apex is... ZywOo's gearing up to come through with Masuda, maybe to come around the corner. Apex is looking very lone. Sorry, Kyojin is looking very lonely on the other side of the map.
Now we've got Liquid posturing in mid. What if this doesn't get checked? Oh, he's been seen, and Elige with the headshot secures the bag. Grim, oh well, disappearing weapons can only mean one thing, and that's Vitality on the other end. They will grab the guns they want and walk away.
Before we get started in the next round, something just occurred to me that could have been a very nice remedy for Liquid in this half so far. If they had 4-1 more than 5 men on the site attacks, left Naf line halls, or left one lurk on B like Stewie to work banana like he normally does, in almost every round where they flash retook, they could have either canceled or gone back or punished the flash retake either on top mid or on banana. And every single round they did it, that the Vitality did it, there was no one from Liquid around the half wall, at logs, there's no one in halls, even just to listen for the audible. Whether or not they can respond to it is another thing, but that's information Liquid didn't have for many rounds in this half. And maybe that's what Vitality have been trying to exploit so often, is the fact that they know that Liquid are 5-manning. Sometimes it's really fun to see the last round of the half, you know, situation like this. Do they have a little bit more to show? Can they put 2 in a row together? And if they figure it out, what's the change?
Oh. Why do these faces sound so French? All right, final attempt on the half. Vitality going to be limited in this one, so ending their CT side in hard mode. Kyojin and Shocks on Deagles. Lackluster nades.
Ooh, the Virtus Pro lane setup.
I'm all for it.
Heavy stack.
Oh, all the monkeys in the barrel.
I think they caught a whiff, right?
Yeah.
It looks like they caught a whiff of the exact setup. So we'll see if, I think at this point you just kind of like, you know, shoot, spam and stuff like that. But yeah, the hard clear's coming in.
But still 2 kills. And then Masuda's able to get another one before Naf ends him. Player over towards the small pit in the form of Apex. We've got a 2v2 to close this. And ZywOo's coming over from the B site. Apex decides not to sit back and relax, but instead gets aggressive and gets rewarded for said aggression. Stewie's gonna fly around the side of this, and it's a vision advantage for Apex, but still Stewie takes him down. 50 seconds on the clock, and the op reveals his position. But this is ZywOo, and it's a wounded Stewie 2K, who is currently 5-12 with bomb planted for him. He postures back into the apps, and ZywOo wraps on mid.
If he's a god, he goes boiler.
If he's a god?
Let's see how he reads. Oh, he's got so much utility too, actually.
A deep grenade. That'd be the most stylish way to end this. No smoke to block vision.
He expected Stewie to play it a little bit more gimmicky, but it's not happening.
No, Stewie just playing it textbook. Gonna stay tucked. Time is now the biggest issue. First tap, not a stick. Stewie decides to peek a few seconds in, and he closes this with a clutch. An 11-4 half, still to the favor of Vitality. But it wasn't too long ago that they also faced this much of a disadvantage, almost to nearly make that comeback. We'll see you in a moment for the second half of this.
Movement Challenge is back. You know the drill. Players must make it through the courses as quickly as possible, getting the best time on the scoreboard. But this time, there are 3 menacing zones to complete. So, Zone 1 of the Movement Challenge 3 is too easy, you say? Zone 2 has got a few niche surprises and tiny tilting platforms that will really start to push your buttons. Apart from the barrage of even more platforms and confusing construction girders to go through, the laser beams are a fiddly challenge as it requires precise timing of your jumps. The last challenge in the zone is the Jump Pack Pillar Arena, where you must use those Danger Zone airstrafes to finally reach the end of the course. Make sure you stick around on the Blast stream to watch your favourite pros take on the challenge.
When this first map began, Mohan, you kind of hyped up Vitality's T side and Team Liquid's CT side. So I want you to have this chance to tell me, why is this second half going to be better than what we just watched?
Yeah, well, we did see in the heroic game it was 3-12 down. Liquid came back to 14-15, and then refresh. The tornado came through.
Destroyed the hopes of the continent.
Yeah, the Hurricane Refresh came through. But apart from that, it was great. It was a great comeback. Nafly was insane on the banana defenses. Stewie was having great efficacy with his op on the holds. Everything was coming together. And today we actually have Elige is the one who is standing very, very far ahead of the rest. A huge margin, but things can change a lot side to side, in terms of people's confidence. I'll just say Vitality just looked incredible last half, and that was the biggest problem.
Yeah, Masuda ending that half with 20 kills. Absolute animal. Speaking of beasts, ZywOo here on the front line of the banana play. Peels him apart. Naf, well, he's got 2 headshots. That's something. That at least puts us back into it. Oh, okay. CZ made easy by running up banana, but then he kind of maybe jumps the gun, goes after Shocks on the bomb plant, does at least stop the bomb from going down.
Oh, no.
But offers the kill back. Remember, Naf has 1 HP. One's in the chat.
Grim could have traded that. That is so unfortunate. I think he's a little bit shooken. He'll get that smoke off front sight for a retake in, but it kind of complicates the situation. I don't know. Let's see how comfortable they are coming into this. Oh, yeah, the bomb hasn't even been planted.
Now it's a retake. Oh, and Shocks through smoke. You've got to be kidding. Of course, Naf had 1 HP. So, Grim, it's been thrust upon you yet again. Close this clutch. He's going to rush the back box, and Shocks ends it then and there. There was an opening for Team Liquid in that pistol. However, small enough for Vitality to still squeeze through.
For the few, North American fans that are still left, Grim is actually unreal as a rifler. Like, one of the craziest players I've seen come up and have this, rise to the top of their region. And, unfortunately, in this game and recently, it feels like Grim's lost a bit of that confidence, taking a bit of hit. I really want to see a player like Grim just swing out and trade that right away. I don't ever want to see a player with aim as good as Grim to come out in a situation like that where he might even have like the, you're not expecting the advantage and not take that duel every single time. He has nothing to be scared of when it comes to a 50-50. He is so sharp, but it feels like, the confidence has come down a little bit. Going through all those entries in the first half and then dying over and over again. And then here on CT side, kind of playing with just a bit too passive to where you're like, oh, are you doubting yourself?
Well, that's the problem, right? No matter how sharp Grim may seem, Shocks is even more clutch. And in that pistol, goes ahead, turns on a Liege, 1-tap, blasts his head off, shoots a couple bullets through smoke, deletes Nafly's single point of health so that he couldn't even come in and help with that retake. And that second pistol of the utmost importance for the moment. The totem pole towards Arch, 2 counter-terrorists were stacked, and yet Vitality looking to breeze past and easily into the A site. Smoke fades, and Masuda will face 2 counter-terrorists on the other end of this. There are still flashbangs to support him, so he better not go in dry. I can hear them being thrown, and sure enough, man up close goes down.
So
Grim right thereafter, and this is a piece of cake for Vitality.
It's a perfect anti-eco, and then, how you do it. 1 person goes Hall, 1 person slow lane. You get that Hall's guided prod to see if anyone shoots back at him and hit. 3 guys go Arch, where there's the most ways to die. Get those smokes down, wrap the site. A is compromised fully. It's just too hard to defend. And the patience is very nice at top of bracket. Just inviting Liquid forward to try something themselves, but the whole while staying very present and making sure that they're ready to anti-flash and also take those fights. And yeah, that's all you have to say. Now, it's just a shame that we might not get to see the breadth of the CT side from Liquid or even the breadth of the T side abilities from Vitality, but in case we don't, I would just like to say, I think the very special thing that Vitality have been doing that I mentioned at the beginning of the game is that they're doing this thing where they can entry on both sides of the map very well. And normally it's a liability to have 1 guy out on his own at the top of banana, 1 guy out on his own at the top of mid. But Vitality have been doing a great job shrouding their presence in their recent games on T side and making it very hard to see which is the easier part to try to retake. And every time someone does, you've got ZywOo at the top of mid or the pack over on banana entering on that side. And it's just very hard to take map control back from them in the same exact way that they were able to do it to Liquid so easily.
A few weapons grandfathered from the 17th to the 18th for Liquid. Minimal tools to work with. They go for another boost, this time over towards Banana as opposed to Arch, and the frag grenade gets sent in. Apex through the wall, into Fallen, and the follow-up on Stewie. Sharp scout. A quick double jab towards the Banana. Vitality are now cleared to travel into the bomb site. Who's left? Just Grim.
How's it looking?
Very grim. And now he's gone. I mean, it's a piece of cake. This is a grand finalist Vitality that have not They have not skipped a beat since last week.
I mean, Vitality are playing with full respect. You know, they're going through with all of their same protocols throughout the half, everything like that. They're allowing Liquid to really like try to step it up. They're just slowly keeping up with them every step of the way, and they know with these different modes of aggression how to turn it up like a slight bit. And I don't know, it's just a couple of consolation kills here for Naflies or anything you could do. No,
Didn't have bomb. Vitality just kind of, you know, feeling out the map.
it's just so hard. I think there is a level at which, you know, if you had six CTs on basically any map, like, you wouldn't have to move for the most part, right? And the real magic of the T side is making it so that when there's 5 players, you get that rotation where they shouldn't have. You get them in a spot where you don't need them to be, or where they don't want to be. And Vitality are just playing like almost perfectly in every degree. And we'd have to see another team who's maybe feeling a bit better to try to take them to that next level. But right now, Vitality, I mean, you just couldn't ask for more.
Yeah, cut from a different cloth this evening. But at least we get weapons. You know, if there's a silver lining in this moment, it's that Liquid actually have a couple guns. That silver lining has now just evaporated, and Fallen's able to get Apex traded back. Another moment where Vitality leave bomb and spawn.
Yeah.
But at the very least, it is this transition towards the B site where Naf will be tested. Now, Naf has an incendiary, no smoke, already thrown. And he decides to skirt his way behind oranges with a teammate not far behind. That's Stewie 2K over on construction. This barrage of utility from Vitality is thrown forward. Minute on the clock, no present today. So it's the all-in. And Stewie, well, he's going to cheat around the side of that smoke. Flashbang goes over top, doesn't really blind too much, at least enough for Naf to walk away with 1. And Stewie 2K is putting his name on this 19th round. It's just Masuda, who again has been good for 3Ks. However, this would take a 4th. Stewie's gonna go for that back coffin peek and gets deleted to the Galil. Bomb plant, done, secured. And a 1v2 left over. Masuda's trying to hunt the 1v1s, but Fallen creeping up from Banana. That's the end of him. We've got Team Liquid with a 5th round at least.
Yeah, it's 14 rounds for Vitality, so they're just, you can't make any mistakes is the real problem here for Liquid. Even if they do play well, they could still lose. But that round, if there is some kind of comeback, is so much leverage. You know, they have a great B defense. That's 2 players inside the site. They win this round 4v5, so at least brings the confidence. Oh my god.
The leash has looked solid this evening.
I don't know if Stewie threw the Molotov to interrupt that smoke purposefully or what exactly happened there, but that he just created such a nice gap for himself, so there was just no way that there... It's also a perspective issue where you can't even really tell if it's fully smoked or not when you're entering. Yeah, so just, I think at that point when they didn't clear him, Stewie knew he already won. But between him and Naf, they do have the ability to hold down this site, for sure. When they're at full strength is when Stewie's opping, though. He's very good at opping on the B sites. FaZe fans know.
There's just no more clay. Fallen's gonna miss that first shot, and Grim actually dies. That almost got shredded, because Fallen's barely standing, and Grim's dead.
That was a bad miss.
Yeah, rough one. Suddenly, as Grim, the guy who's in the corner, like, you've got me, right, Fallen?
I just made a video called Fallen is Looking Young, because he was like nuts at Pro League, but...
It was insanity.
Yeah.
Which is nice. It's good to know that the promise is there. It's just, you know...
This Fallen guy, up and coming. We gotta look out for him.
Yes. Ooh, boosted Stewie 2K.
Uh-oh, they've shown both guns here in spawn. They're gonna allow for this retake. Very dangerous to sit out here, but they... Oh,
another
they're
boost.
Try to interrupt.
This could be great. This could be great. They line up. He's got the bomb planter. The best thing of Liquid's CT side so far has been the impact that Stewie 2K has bagged from this CT cross. He does damage through that smoke, and this lowers both Masuda and Zywoo to a negligible amount of health. Again, Stewie just disrespects, push in, and Zywoo poised to clutch. 1v4, cuts down the first, but a tuck from Stewie 2K and a USP. Stewie with the ace.
Hair down, pomade, Stewie 2K is looking good.
Slick Stew.
Inside the server and out. Nice plays on B site, and honestly, I think one of my biggest criticisms for Liquid on this map was Stewie in the B site when it came to just, you know, regular rounds, rifling and stuff like that, and some of their big matches earlier on this year.
Yeah.
But Naflight coming up huge, and Stewie's performances also becoming a bit more consistent. Maps like this show that they can be very, very fierce. They've definitely figured a lot of stuff out here. can definitely tell the confidence is up.
And good for Liquid to, you know, throw Stewie back on the wall and whatnot, but that is a play that, you know, in hindsight, watching the replay, I'm like, Vitality are kind of stumbling on each other's feet in that moment. Somebody's jumping into sight.
I will say,
lining up for Stu.
I was surprised they went for that boost, considering both Thomas' shot behind the smoke.
Yeah.
So maybe they just thought, all right, there's no way they're going to expect us to do something, quote unquote, this stupid by boosting after showing that both of our guns are here. Because, like, I thought if one guy shot and they kept the idea that someone could be in con, then they could boost and he wouldn't know that there were two guys ready to do it. So maybe Vitality just assumed, oh, there's no way they're going to try this.
Yeah, riding the momentum of a fantastic first half, riding the momentum of a then 3 consecutive round win, 14 on the scoreboard. But this is where Liquid does work.
Even if they don't win this map, I think making something of a comeback will be huge for the series and their odds. So I'm sure they're going to be trying their hardest. And they've answered questions on one half of the map. But there's still the other half of the map that Vitality haven't even really tested yet.
Yeah, and last round we saw that A play get ripped apart. We saw Grim die immediately. We saw Fallen drop his shot inside of apartments. So, like, the most minimal amount of activity at the A site, and, you know, the scale certainly tipped in the way of Vitality there. They decided to rock back to B. They decided to give Stewie 2K his chance, and Stewie decided to clamp down on all 5.
It's a gambly CT side here. It's not so much about taking back map control, holding on to mid-presence with an op. It's just about running back and forth. It's more about a Navi-style CT side, I would say, here for Liquid so far. Stewie posted up behind a smoke. Vitality are just waiting for them to come through with an answer so they can look for a punish. Stewie risking it with some of this smoke spam, but sometimes the damage is important. Fallen on low health. We'll get a kill on Zywoo. And that is definitely a jackknife frag that will activate the rest of the map on the CT side, but Shocks with an op.
Oh, and Stewie's gonna walk through this. They were watching it a moment ago. He hears the footsteps coming in from mid. It's gotta be on Grim. Ooh. And he dies empty-handed. This is Vitality sweeping away the A site. We said there were still questions. Vitality's got your answer. 15th round secured.
I don't know where Shocks got that up, but the round was still recoverable if both those players just got their one kill, right? Stewie came through the smoke push, had an edge, a small edge on Apex, got a couple of bullets off, but just got one-shotted in response, and then Grim just failed from the top of Balk. You know, need more on that hold. So, unfortunately, you never want to have to chalk a round up to mechanical failure, because then it's impossible to analyze after, besides just do better. But unfortunately, this is what it was. This is a good punish to start things off. And then I don't know where even that Shocks kill came from, but it was the other player on A, right? Elige maybe on lane. Tough.
Okay. I was worried for Naf that maybe he wouldn't get away with it, but sure enough, finds Kyojin. Vitality, 9 map points to close their opponent's map choice.
They're powered up. They got the whole facility. They got a Dren right behind them. But do they have guns? Yeah, okay, if everyone's got something.
They got guns.
All right.
Elige has an A1S.
With an A1S, anything is possible.
How new is that?
That's my new motto. Oh, what the hell?
How new is that?
Oh, I just realized, yeah, like...
Unless it's not his. In which case, if you use an A1S...
He doesn't use skins.
Oh no, oh no! He went to throw a smoke, but then because the player peeks, it bounces back and rebounds into his face.
Yes, that's awkward. We'll see if it has an impact. That can be bad, but... I don't know if there's a punish possible here. I mean, Poland knows something.
Oh,
he can't hit it. He can't hit a shot. There's too many. It's Fallen and Grim. There's a couple of opportunities. They just can't hit him today.
Oh, and the ops are popping off. Not to the favor of Liquid. Elige will shut down Masuda at the very least. Vitality poised for this two-prong assault, and Shocks just land in the op shots. Elige is going to get hit from all directions, and it is Shocks with a 3rd sniper kill in this 22nd round. Naf, cold-blooded Canadian killer, on for the 1v4 clutch. He may move slowly, but it's always with intention.
I think there's a little bit too much gravy on this poutine, Connor.
That's how you paint the picture for the big ones. Poor guy's getting smoked, flashed, and shot at. Bomb beyond the halfway point. Nafly's going to challenge inside the site and dies at the hands of a very sharp Shoxy. A sniper, apparently.
Vintage Shock's Oppie performance. He's got my favorite op base of all time, actually, on Inferno way back in the day. So, I mean, it's not often you see it, but there it is. Done. You can do it all.
And dusted. Next up, we've got the map pick of Vitality, Vertigo, after the break.
During that break, I had time to think about my decisions and how last year affected me, and it's really exciting to play, and I'm really fired.
Welcome, Obo, in this CS Money skin story. What we're about to do today is chronicle your career through 4 stickers to retrace some of the key steps you have gone through in your history in Counter-Strike.
Yes, I'm very excited to be here.
I'm gonna ask you this very simple question. What is your all-time favorite skin?
Yeah, I would say I have a few skins that I like to use. The Desert Eagle Blaze is always a top skin for me. My all-time favorite skin is the M4 Howl. I've had past success with the Howl using it, and it just feels very good to use.
That makes complete sense to me. Definitely makes you better. But the first sticker I'm going to show you is the Shooting Star return. Obo the Shooting Star back in CSGO.
I would choose that as well. It looks good and it makes sense for me.
You had a little bit of a leave of absence. You left us really worried that we would have to do CSGO without you.
During that break, I had time to think about my decisions and how last year affected me, and it's really exciting to play, and I'm really fired to play and compete and to win.
Well, I can only share your excitement. Well, the second sticker I'm going to show you is the Ace Devil. And I'm going to take you back down memory lane for a second. If I'm telling you about a pistol round against MIBR ECS Season 7,
Yes.
talk me through that moment, that crazy ace that you had.
CSGO is so momentum, at least for me and like the teams I play on. Getting a good pistol round versus not getting a good pistol round is such a big difference. Everything flows better.
Absolutely, look. This one is going to be slapped right on that bad boy.
Yeah, no, this sticker looks very my style. I'm good with this sticker.
I'll take it as a win. I'll take it as a win. I agree with you. This is an amazing sticker. It fits. The third sticker I'm going to show you is easy. I have a clip in mind where you are on Dust 2 and you just spray everyone down. I believe you get 4 kills. They haven't even made it to the side. Do you remember that play?
Yeah, I do. It was in the Blast Premier with Complexity that we won. And that was the semi-final against FaZe. You just decimate a hit to your site, then like it becomes very easy to read what they're going to do in all the next rounds.
You just mentioned it, Obo. You said it becomes easy.
Absolutely.
And the final and fourth sticker is Global Elite, because that's what you are. You're part of the Global Elite.
I've never seen this sticker, but it looks really good.
Well, now I think we should have a look at all the stickers, put on your all-time favorite skin, and I'm going to ask you, how does that make you feel? Do you feel like it's representative?
Yeah, honestly, all these stickers are good. I approve.
Awesome. Well, I am very glad I got the Obo approval, and thank you very much for joining me today on the Skin Story. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Yes, thank you. It's good to talk.
Clinical form from Vitality on Liquid's ground of Inferno, and you would be happy if you were on the French side after that performance. It was the T side that we were really looking at coming into this map, but we didn't actually get to see too much of it, Maniac, because the CT side from Vitality, it was looking hot to trot from the start.
Yeah, that was a fantastic CT side. Fantastic CT side for the Frenchmen, honestly. Misuta shut it down. They shut the B side down completely. He had multi-kills after multi-kills after multi-kills, really taking it to Liquid, making it really hard for them. And overall, this was kind of flat. Like, I'm sorry, man. I know you're here trying to represent. It's like, I'm trying to do something, but that was flat for like a T side.
That was just, I mean, that was a great CT side from Vitality's, the counter there. It's just that they had so much info the entire time, constantly re-aggressing into Bracket, constantly re-aggressing into Banana. Vitality knew everything that was happening almost the entire time. And on Inferno, that's a death sentence for the T side, because the T side, you're trying to keep the defenders in the dark. You're trying to throw enough smokes, enough flashes, enough utility to get them off their game so that they don't know where they should set up. But Vitality were always rotated into the right positions. Any bomb site that Liquid were going to was either getting stopped by a smoke, a molly, or there were 3 people there.
And we've really got to talk about the 2 young guns coming out. All guns are blazing for this squad. We're really hyping up both Masuta and Kirsten, and they had some pretty impressive back-to-back clutch rounds in this
And it is heartbreaking if you're Liquid, because finally you feel like the NA side started picking up the pace, picking up the rhythm, figuring out what to do. 2, and Misuta and then Kyojin absolutely destroyed their dreams in 2 back-to-back 1 versus 2. It starts here, round 11, Misuta, and you will have a quick look at the fact that he's got a kit and the smoke is going to help him here. I don't understand why Grim is committed to that and Fallen is not ready to help him. Fallen with the scout, not able to find the kit. Here, Misuta is quite clever. He slows down the pace. He waits, then he puts down the smoke, and he knows that is going to trigger a reaction from Fallen, and he wins the 1 versus 2. That was already hurting. Now you move on to the next round. Same thing, Liquid finally breaking it through the B side. Daf here picking completely on his own. Kyojin, great aim, he destroys him. But there's no trade possible. Elish is then out on the open. You have a 1v1 and a 1v1. These 2 clutches back to back could have changed, could have turned the first half on its head because Liquid was finally picking up the pace, but that just ruined everything.
Could have been a 9-6 half right there if that first clutch didn't go the way of Masuda. But Masuda, I mean, that just goes to show how experienced he feels now. He slows the game down in those kinds of moments, made Fallen react to his own smoke. It wasn't even a panic play or anything of the sort. And now we look at just the highlights that he had defending the bomb site. This was multi-frag after multi-frag, some of which completely unassisted, just pure mechanical ability and reading the executes perfectly in order to find these excellent string of kills.
Round 5, 6, 7, and 9. That's what we have seen. Misuta was the main reason why Vitality were able to have such a good start. He put an end. He put an end to an entire game plan because Liquid wanted to focus on the B side. We saw it at the very beginning, and we know they have the executes. But you have a man like Misuta just taking the fight to them and assuring these multi-kills made the whole difference.
And it was a word you used when describing Misuta and kind of the development we've seen in him as a player, proactivity, and that was just through and through in this map.
Yes, he was a big reason that Vitality, when Liquid were going to the A bomb site, were getting stopped by multiple players too. So even in the rounds where he wasn't coming up with the kills, he was pushing towards Banana in the mid round, finding out that Liquid's not there, and so they could all rotate over. It was through and through just an excellent performance from Masuta, whether he's providing the kills or delivering on the macro level.
And I think we do have to give it to Apex as well. We were really handing it to him, especially coming off EPL as well. We had some incredible reads versus the opposition there. Even the first round, I remember, of this very map, we were saying, yep, that is an anti-strat entirely for Liquid when they were coming out of the opponent's
Oh yeah, the pistol round.
Yeah,
the pistol is an anti-strat. I mean, it's always a little bit of a gamble because any team has 1, 2 to 3 pistol rounds they'll use. This time around, it was perfect for Vitality. I just wanted to touch on, the proactivity that Maui is talking about. That is also a little bit of Apex's DNA into that. He likes to play that aggressive, mobile, information-oriented Counter-Strike, and it can look foolish at times because if you're trying to go for information and someone punishes you, it's a bit meh. But when it works, you end up exactly what we just had, a Vitality that is 1 step ahead all the time. Grabbing information, Banana, 55 seconds. Well, guys, get ready. The train is coming on the A side in about 10 seconds. And you have Kyojin on the side, 30 seconds. Yeah, I'm just going to smoke right now. And that is it. It just closes. That's the pistol round we're talking about. Look at this setup. Shocks finds them, and then they have a double pit position for that drop. That is like reading a book.
That re-aggress from Shocks there to catch the player as he's throwing the smoke, I mean, that's just perfect timing, perfect knowledge of what the possible strat is there. Either that, or he's going to get info on a Banana flank. One or the other, and either way, it's a good play from Shocks. So that is just, I mean, it showed immediately that Vitality came into this very prepared, ready for their opponent.
I think it does leave us with a few questions for the side of Liquid. However, I think Launders was saying it during the game, or at the beginning of the game, however, he was saying, this is the map that he feels like Liquid have had the most improvement upon recently. So where was it really lacking for Liquid that they just weren't able to give anything back to Vitality?
Like, I'm trying to make sense of all the multi-kills that Misuta had because I think that was the one determinant factor at the beginning. And you can always look at it both ways. You can talk about spacing and utility because these are supposed to be the elements that prevent you from getting multi-killed. If the flash is better, if the spacing is better, you're not going to get to that point. And then obviously the second part of my answer is going to be the clutches. And you cannot lose back-to-back 1 versus 2. One of these 1 versus 2 even stem from a 5v3 that they have earlier in the round. It's unforgivable. If you are Liquid and you're looking to get a W on the belt, you cannot lose these rounds. Not at the top level of Counter-Strike, not anywhere.
You posed this as a question coming into this map as well. I don't want to harp on it about it too much. Obviously, the 1v5 versus Refresh earlier on in EPL as well. You were saying, are there skeletons in the closet? Are there going to be little ghosts coming back for Liquid? I don't want to put any words into your mouth, but do you feel like that could be a factor?
A little bit of a flashback. That's what I was alluding to. Yeah, and I think that they really did feel that on that B site. I don't know if they were really they're cognizant of that failure before, but the fact of the matter stands that the trading was not there in those kinds of situations. They didn't always have a plan in terms of, are they going to double swing together? Are they going to make sure that we don't allow these players to isolate these kinds of duels? Because that is how you lose man-up situations. You give your opponent a chance to isolate the fights, and that's something that surprisingly Masuda has just done so well. Even though he is not always just perfectly positioned, it's just that if you give him a timing, especially when you're coming into a bomb site against him, he's just going to nail every single shot unless the trading is right there, and it wasn't for Liquid.
I think one of the most impressive things about this victory for Vitality as well is we haven't even had to mention the name Zywoo. He hasn't had to put up these huge numbers again, which is something that we were saying back at the end of 2020, coming into the beginning of 2021. He wasn't having to be that hard carry that we've seen him being before. It's a team coming together as well.
Absolutely. When you have a team that doesn't require their superstar to shine in order to win, then you know that the machine, all the cogs are just turning in together, right? And it's working and it's efficient. And that ends up in a result like this. Now, we can move towards Vertigo, right? And obviously, things are looking dire for Liquid. There's no other way to put it. I will still say, though, that Overpass would have been a pick a bit more safe for Vitality because of how many times they have played it, right? They've gone through it many times. Vertigo, they've only played 3 times in the past 3 months. If we have a reaction from Liquid, then I don't think things are as horrible looking as one might think.
Yeah, and it's the same for the side of Liquid. They've only played it 3 times in the past 3 months as well, so pretty even coming into it.
There's not too much information to go off of, but they have both played Gambit, and one of these teams beat Gambit, one of them lost to Gambit.
So what you're telling me is we're doing the mathematical solutions.
The transitive property says that Vitality
Exactly.
should be taking this one because they're the people that were able to beat Gambit, and that was off of some great T-side calling from Apex. We were talking about that in the pregame, and Liquid actually, they put up a great fight. They brought that game to overtime against Gambit, but they just they fell short at the very end there.
So where are you looking at for Liquid if they have any hopes of really turning this series around and taking us to that third and final decider?
Look, I mean, there are 2 names that were at the bottom of the pit right there. It's Fallen and it's Grim, and I'm going to mention these 2 for different reasons. First of all, Fallen not only as an IGL, I always put forward the motion that if you're an IGL and you are completely out of your groove, I think it's going to affect the way you see the game, right? If you're just not finding any success individually, we just had the counter example with Magisk, where everything is working today, and he's just making plays left and right. Fallen very much in difficulty in that game. And then Grim. Grim is supposed to be... We made a Mizuta Grim comparison, right, in terms of how much security and safety they're supposed to bring to the team on that CT side, mainly where they are the multi-kill machine if the first line of defense fails. Grim was nowhere to be found either. So there needs to be a reaction from either or and 2 of these players.
Well, it will be the heights of Vertigo that we'll be reaching in the second map of this series. But for Liquid, they may be the ones to topple off the edge. We're going to be finding out as we're heading into Vitality's map pick with Scrawny and Lawless in just a few moments.
Let me hear you. Are you guys here? Are you ready to watch some Counter-Strike?
They're right in front, defusing the bomb. The struggle. Three taking two and falling back.
What a match between these teams.
Na'Vi finish like this? You are kidding me.
It's loud. It's insane.
I can feel that vibration through the walls, through the floor, through my heart, to the core.
Dude, the atmosphere is crazy.
Are you ready to get this show on the road?
That's right, folks. The Copenhagen Royal Arena primed and ready for the Blast Fall Finals, but we're here at the Blast Fall Groups. It's the first day of the fall season. Tons of Counter-Strike between then and now, but it's coming, and you better be there. Now we have Vertigo between Team Liquid and
it's sold
Vitality.
out.
The floor seats.
Okay.
The floor seats are sold out, but you can still buy tickets.
Okay. Tell them about the box seats, Connor.
The box, that's just for us.
Yeah.
Vertigo, speaking of box seats and things high up, we're taking it to the second map here. Vitality over Liquid in Inferno. Pretty convincing fashion. Individual form of Vitality looks ferocious. Individual form of Liquid looks stagnant.
The only good player down the ramp. They don't necessarily have to give you a kill from there. The Liege is the one to actually take damage.
Oh. Apex is going to remove it. So 0 for 2.
Oh, smoke. Oh, it's
it bounced the box. Yeah.
It'll bait them into peeking though.
Yeah, but that's
Small
not what he
chance.
wanted. Flashbang goes beyond it. Stewie, he's going to have to clutch this in the 1 versus 2. Shooting for the 3K.
Great smoke.
It turns out to be all right, but he loses so much HP, and Kyojin's not going to go for the second peek. Called the bluff on the first spam. A little bit of sound, he offers it. He just goes right back into the crosshair of Stewie 2K, but the essence of time.
He has it, right?
The essence of time could make the difference. Stewie.
Whoa, that's a huge mistake by Masuda.
Gets the clutch.
That's, yeah, I mean, that's just a huge mistake by Masuda. He heard him drop, surely. Unless someone was calming in his 1v1, which I'm sure would never happen. He decided I was a confidence peak, but he knew he had at least... Yeah, I think there's a difference between peeking right when you think they're tapping or whatever it is, and when a moment like that, when you literally could wait 2 seconds.
Also, if he feels like he's kind of lost the moment and he's panicking for a little bit of info, that was a hard wide swing.
Yes.
You know, not even a little jiggle. Oh, Stewie, no defuse, no kit. That was hard commitment and a hard to swallow
in
loss.
those last moments, just in case I missed something, did Stewie throw find a second smoke and throw it at him?
I don't believe so.
Okay, I don't know if he did or not. That would be a good out.
He had a flash at one point. That flash could have caused a bit of.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he found a second.